Easily Rigged, YouTube's hottest show, featuring B-Eazy Dat Dude and Big Rig Slaps. This show offers both entertainment and a balanced and thoughtful perspective. Easily Rigged is the best thing smoking. Here we are yet again, another installment of Easily Rigged. So we had to take a hiatus for various reasons. I had to definitely get some things together, things that are definitely more important than just streaming to, an ungrateful audience, you know what I mean? Not saying this particular audience, I'm just saying on YouTube in general. People take a lot of the time. Now it's a bunch of trolls, it's a lot of grifters, but there are a lot of people that do take time out of their busy schedule and come and drop game and lace, and you won't even send $1 to their Cash App, but you'll buy a bunch of Starbucks that you can make at home. You'll send a bunch of money to McDonald's that you can make at home. So what I'm saying is, have some respect when people, not just Easily Rigged, but just anyone. You may not fool with Easily Rigged, but there are some creators out there that you look at and say, look, I get value from their content. Donate to them, man. Donate. If you say, hey, look, I don't got the money, which is a little bit weird because a lot of y'all cats are saying that you're high value, men and women, right? High value dudes and boss chicks, so you should have more than enough money to shoot your boy a dub. You know what I mean? And like I said, if you don't support me, who are you supporting? And are you sending them monetary support? That's ultimately what it's about, because I've been seeing so much YouTube, and not just YouTube, but just social media pandering, political pandering. It's hard to sift through and know. Not for me, because I have certain litmus tests, but I could see under other people, it's hard for them to sift through and understand who is real, what is real. That's why it's going to segue into what the ultimate preliminary topic is, because we're going to kind of freestyle tonight since we haven't been here and talking about some trending occurrences. But are you really happy with where society is headed? Because many people are living in a distorted reality, and people don't really know, is this person really a friend? Is this information really true? So when people are taking the time to enlighten you and entertain you, right? People are overly entertained and need to focus more on the enlightenment. But when you're getting a balance of entertainment and enlightenment, I think people should be more grateful of that. like I said, I'm not just speaking about easily rigged. I'm just talking about people in general. There are some creators that don't even have that many subs, and you watch and it's like this dude or this person drops some high level game, right? And they say it costs to be the boss, and game is to be sold, not told. So they're actually going against the grain by telling you some game, and all game is information. So they're telling you some game that should be actually sold to you, right? If they say, hey, do you want to be a lawyer? We'll give you the game, right? But they sell it to you. You have to go to college, pay for tuition, pay for the game. You know what I mean? So when people are giving you free game on top of entertainment, just be a little bit more grateful, uh, to your family members, to creators, and show that you're grateful. If you don't got money, like, share, comment. All of those are free. At least do 2 out of the 3. Go ahead, Big Rig, before I get into the discussion.
Nah, you right, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. But when it comes to the way society going right now, man, me personally, I ain't feeling it, bro. Um, when it comes to the relationships and everything with just people in general, it's a lot of funny acting, bro. It's just it's kind of hard to kind of weed out who's real and who's fake. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody putting on these certain masks, man. So
Hold on, Big Rig. You speaking a little vague when you saying it's a lot of funny acting. Could you give like 2 or 3 examples of some behavior of a funny acting person that you've encountered or that you've observed?
well, just the kind of people, bro, that they come through with a smile on their face. You know what I'm saying? Like they pretty much rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? But it's fake because it's just for that time being. You know what I'm saying? It's just for that moment. You know what I'm saying? It ain't genuine. You know what I mean? It's
How
like
do
you can
you
be
determine whether it's genuine or not?
because like if I see you in a whole different setting at a whole another time, we should be on the same type of hype we was the last time I seen you. You feel me? But now if you acting different, a little bit funny,
You
that
switching
ain't
up.
genuine. Switching up,
Got you.
bro.
Yeah,
That
and,
ain't
and
genuine.
I use a quick analogy too, like, and this is a kind of frivolous example that I'm about to use, but I'm just using it because it's ultimately about the mindset. So, whether you're a sports fan or not, when people pick a sports team, you're kind of supposed to be, you know what I mean, like kind of loyal to that team, right? I mean, not loyal to the point where people is arguing with their spouse once the team lose, but what I'm saying is kind of like a barber, right? You go to a certain barber, you're loyal to that barber. But back on the team, right? If I grew up with Big Rig and the whole time he was a Niners fan, then he moved somewhere else, and then I see him and you like, it's Raiders on mine. And I'm like, hold on, what? And then the next time I see you again and you like, I always been a Rams fan. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? And that's what sometimes people do with the information. Like, I'm blue pill all day. And then the next time you see him on a panel, I always been red pill. And then you see him again, like, well, I'm black pilled. I mean, that's just what I was raised on. Like, bruh, how am I supposed to take you serious? And I'm using these examples, but you can just fill in the blank with anything. People will do that all the time. Like, man, I'm vegan, bro. Like, I always been vegan. And then it's like, hey, bro, slide with me to this barbecue. Like, bro, you mean the rib shack? Like, bro, I thought you was vegan. So you this switch up be many, bro. Speak on it though, Big Red.
Yeah, man. Just the switch up, man. Just not being genuine, bro. Getting around other people, showing out. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm pretty much the same every day, bro. My outlook is pretty much the same. You feel me? The way I am is the way I am, bro. You know, if I salute you today, I'm gonna salute you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's really no difference, kind of, when it comes to the way I engage. You know what I'm saying, with people, bro. So I just try to be, genuine in everything that I do. You know what I'm saying? So, but then when it comes to the rest of society, bro, with these laws that are coming into play, with you know bathroom situations, things at schools, it's just it's rubbing me the wrong way, bro. Just to keep it all the way 100, you know.
Yeah, no, I totally got you. I was actually trying to look up because that they're going crazy with the laws, and this is why I always tell people. People will sit around and say, "Well, I'm just not into politics," and I'm gonna let y'all know right here, bro. No matter what ethnicity you are, what class you are, what background you from, that's probably one of the most ignorant statements you'll ever make in your life. Being into politics doesn't mean that you need to be a politician. What it means is that everything in your life is determined and dictated by some sort of politics. Now, once you go into jail, and I'm gonna speak to the, you feel me, the street cats, you know what I mean, the hood aficionados. Once you go to jail, you understand that it's super segregated. And what do they call once you guys are networking together? They call it politicking, right? When you are in the street game, you know what I mean, and you're dealing with ladies of leisure, you know, and you are recruiting them, that's politicking. Even you are running a form of a campaign. Your family dynamics is politics. Your neighborhood, when they saying the HOA and saying, hey, you can't park that car in front of the house, those are local politics. City council, parent teacher meetings are politics. So people are sitting around saying that they don't care about politics, and then they pass laws. Politicians, what do you think politicians' job is to do? To present, push forward, and pass policy. Policy, i.e., politics. So then people say, I'm not into politics, and then what do they complain about? Policy. Three strike law is a policy put together by a
Should have
politician,
never came into play.
which is politics. So too many times people over here arguing, bickering, and say, hey, look, I'm not a politician. You don't have to be. Why don't you get with some like-minded people and say, hey, bro, let's figure this out. I'm not a carpenter, but I got on YouTube and built some stuff, right? So it's like, do you really need to be a politician to figure certain things out? All of these things that, they say it was written. All of these things have already been putting down in a book. And a lot of things you don't even need a book for, because you will understand based on personal experience, based on the experience of others. Many have already tried and failed and have given you the blueprint. The game is supposed to be sold, not told, and many people have already told it to you that you can get for free. So a lot of these laws, I agree with you, man. They're passing all sorts of laws that are unfavorable to us collectively. They're doing a lot of cop city stuff where they're putting us under a surveillance state, which we already are, where they have drones, they have robot dogs. You see how the AI is going to get. They allow a lot of this crime to happen, and then they say, look, we want to protect you. By protecting you, we're going to have more cameras, more drones, more this, more that, and you think that you're protected, but everywhere you turn around, you're being watched. Is that really protection? No, it's not. Protection is being able to be in an environment where you don't have to worry about begging to have some robot dogs police the area. All of this ties into politics. So I'm gonna let you respond to the diatribe I just went on, and then we gonna go ahead and let Mr. Best rock out. Go ahead, Big Rig.
No, that's a fact, bro. Everything is damn near politics, bro. And for me, um, I can't vote. I can't do certain things, because of certain reasons, whatnot. But if I did have that right, I would. You know what I'm saying? Because I do think that it's powerful, bro. That, like I said, when you brought up the three strikes um, law in California, bro, that should have never been passed, bro. Like people should have seen that and like been against that immediately.
The
You know what I'm
reason why
saying?
they
But
weren't against it because they were allowing a lot of crime to happen, and that's what they do. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but I had to say this.
nah,
They
please do.
allow they allow a lot of crime to happen because then what needs to happen? Oh, we need to fix it. So they'll let the bottom fall out and say, look, we need more police dogs, more weaponry, more tanks, more this, and then we'll stop the crime. But what are they complaining about right now? Crime. So they've gotten raises. They have dogs, they have drones, they have robot dogs, they have vests, they have grenades, they have tasers that will hit you when you're running, they have rifles, they have shotguns, they have rubber bullets, they have mace, they have these things that are shoot and it will wrap around your legs and trip you up. That's just only a few things I named off the top, and they're still complaining about crime. So what I'm saying is being allowed to happen, bro. And then once they allow it to happen, they have stocks in these prisons, right? So the three strike law, in order for them to make money, they need those bodies. They have people that are risking their life and putting out fires rather than pay those people wages. We are just a thugged out criminal. We don't need to pay you. Just go risk your life, and then you get 57 cents. And then they say, hey, well, it's better than you being in a jail cell all day with roaches biting you around a bunch of gangbangers that don't like you. And you think, like, yeah, man, well, maybe I do got the skills. And then you put out all of those fires. So basically, you have the skills to be a fireman. And then you get out, and the fire department doesn't hire you. So I'm saying all of that stuff is by design so that you just keep going back into the system. And that's what that three strike law was designed to do, just to keep the pipeline going so that they have a fresh crop of bodies.
That was pretty powerful, bro. Especially how you put that fire thing in there. You know what I'm saying? That's real spill.
Yeah, I mean, it. You've been down on those yards. I know my friend was getting all sorts of degrees, and a lot of those areas they wouldn't hire them, and then the places that did hire them, they only hired them because the government came in and subsidized the company. So like, let's say Walmart, it'd be like Walmart is hiring felons, right? What Walmart will really be doing is Walmart on their books, they'll be paying like in between $2 to $5 an hour, and the government will come and pay the rest. So, like, let's say I'm paying Big Rick $15 an hour. Since he's a felon, I'm only really paying him $4 an hour, and the government is covering the rest. So that's kind of like a way that some of these companies actually do like to hire felons, but it's not because they care about you. It's just because you're cheap labor. You know what I mean? And that's how you are when you get in there. And it's super, people are super segregated. I tell people all the time, like, you can say that all of these people are your homies. You could have grown up in San Ramon, Black Hawk, around nothing but white guys. You could have grown up in San Jose or Modesto around nothing but Hispanics, bro. And then when you get in there, you really can't hang with the Hispanics. You really can't hang with the whites. Your homie that you grew up with, he's not going to be acting like your homie in there. But we're all people of color and we're all Americans until you get in there and you see what it's really about. So when people will be saying, hey, well, why are you saying black so much? Or why are you playing identity politics? Or why are you fighting for your one racial group? I say, just ask those other groups. Why are they fighting? Like, why are we not coming together? If anything, we're the only one that has tried to come together. Those other groups let you know at the door, like, no, we're not trying to come together. But now it's a point where people are trying to make you feel guilty for excluding. Like, all right, cool, y'all don't want us at your cookout, cool. That invitation that I sent you to our cookout, we ripping it up. And now people like, well, why are you ripping up the invitation? You don't even want us at your cookout, but you still expect to come to ours. And jail is a microcosm of how politics is, right? Everybody wants to get you on board, like the civil rights movement, and they'll be like, George Floyd used the backs of black death and depravity, but then when it comes time to get a bill, anti-Asian hate bill, like, hold on, what? It was black people that was the victims of most hate crime. Yeah, but I'm Asian. Anti-Asian hate bill. You see what I'm saying? George Floyd, this, this person, that, and then cool. We all people of color. We all together. And then you go down to the table, anti-Asian. Like, why wasn't it an anti-Asian and black hate bill? You see, but then when you look at the other people, our politics, they have a Asian caucus. All they talk about is Asian issues. They got a Hispanic caucus. All they talk about is Hispanic issues. They got a congressional black caucus that's full of black immigrants. And guess what they talk about? People of color. So Asian people are supposed to be people of color, but when they talk about their issues, it's only Asian. I don't know why people be saying a black and brown coalition, because the Hispanics do not consider themselves brown. And if anything, the brown ones are looked down. So once again, when they say Hispanic and they don't say brown, they make sure not to say brown. And most of them identify as white according to the US Census. But then when you get to the black caucus, even look at the NAACP. Right? People act like it's a black organization, but they let you know the trick bag off top. It's the National Association Alliance for Colored People. Huh? Colored people? Like, who was that? Now they're saying everyone is a person of color. You see what I'm saying? So all of this ties back into politics. And then also, are you happy with where society is headed? Because just like jail, where everyone is segregated and fighting for their group, that's where society is headed. And it's going to get even worse. Every other group is blaming each other, but it's only a certain segment of people that have power and hold power. And it's gonna get a lot uglier, bro. It's really gonna get a lot uglier, bro. But I'm definitely not happy with where society is headed today. It's like a leaky boat, bro. Too many holes in the boat to really, like, oh damn, look at that hole over there, look at that hole over there. And it's just taking in a lot of water. Now we could patch up the boat, but a lot of people is just, want to stay on their separated stuff. And it's not bad to segregate and separate in certain instances, but once you're doing it solely off of race, and then trying to act like, oh no, it's just culture and all this stuff, like, you don't want to go to the culture argument, because people will start getting highly offended once you start bringing up the numbers. But I'm gonna let Mr. Best chime in, joined by none other than 84. The topic tonight is, are you happy with where society is headed? And then we gonna kind of tap into maybe some trending occurrences that have happened. And either man Williams says segregation is bad. Generally, segregation is bad, but it depends on what and why are you segregating. See, either man says segregation is bad, and I don't think segregation is good just because it's like, okay, whites be with the whites. For me, I'm not advocating for that, but other people, that's that's how it is. We're more segregated now than we are at the height of Jim Crow. But if you look up, let me get the actual, hold on, give me 1 second. The actual definition of segregation, the action or state of setting someone or something apart from others. Now, if somebody is an anti-black tap dance sambo, I want to segregate from them. You can't tell me that segregation is bad, right? And let's just say that someone was in the hood doing nefarious stuff. If you know somebody was a known snitch, you're going to want to segregate from them. Segregate, separate is a form of semantics. And yeah. And he says we're not segregated at all. Mr. Best, if you there, I'm going to let you get in after this. But this is your feelings. It's not actually stats. You said not in major cities. Now you're adding caveats. You said at all, which is an absolute statement. But I think you noticed the inaccuracies, and then you said not in major cities. Not everyone lives in the major city. And this is not my numbers. Just type in redlining. Does it still exist? They just had to settle Wells Fargo just a couple years about redlining. Redlining is segregating. You're saying, yeah, you need to move over into the black neighborhood, and no, we're not going to give you any loan. Like, and there have been some reports that said some areas, not all, some areas are more segregated than in the height of Jim Crow. Now, some people do have a distorted reality because they may live in a city that's like a melting pot, and you live next to Asians, and you live next to Africans, Russians, Pakistani, but that's not the norm for everyone. And people already know. And just look up the stats too. In a neighborhood where there's a bunch of black people, the appraisers start to lower the values. So by then, just type in white flight. None of these are my terms. So just type in white flight. White flight is a bunch of white people saying, oh, where do you think the term "there goes the neighborhood" comes from? It means there's too many blacks over here. Our housing values are going to go down. And then there's the tropes about crime and etc. So they leave. So they segregate, separate, exclude themselves. Is it everyone? No, but it is still extremely pervasive. And I think Mr. Best lives in an affluent neighborhood. He can tell you if it's segregated or full of people that look like him. But you can pick up the discussion wherever you want. Go ahead, Mr. Best.
I mean, yeah, it is segregated in some ways, and then there's some ways where it's not. I mean, we all got to shop in the same grocery store, so you know what I mean, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, as far as society being whatever it is, I mean, it just is whatever it is. I care about certain things in society, but not all things. So, you know what I mean? I don't allow certain things to dictate or to really bother me. You know what I'm saying?
The man says you live by white people. That's a fact?
At times, yeah. But
okay.
At the end of the day, like I don't, you know what I mean? I don't let things dictate, you know, or society dictate like how I do things or how I feel about things. Like, it is what it is to me. There's certain things that I see that brings me alarm, especially when it comes to like children, things of that nature. But outside the kids, like what adults want to do with themselves, like it is what it is, man. You're an adult. You choose where you want to live. You choose what you want to be. You choose what you want to believe, and you choose who you want to rock with. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so I know how to, you know, in my lifetime, I've learned how to basically bring people in, but then also flush them down the toilet like some shit. I mean, that's just how quickly I do it. You know what I mean? So, thank you, Darrell. Salute to you. Salute to you, the man, as well, and them three. But yeah, I just learned how to move, man. So that's just what it is. Just know how to move. Some people gonna be there. Some people gonna be there for you for a long term, and some people are not. So, and I'm pretty sure I already know who's gonna be there for a long term with me. So I'm cool. Everything else to me Man, let me not curse. I don't care about nothing else. I'm gonna just say that.
So let me ask you what you said you did care about, which was the kids. What aspect of where society is headed regarding the kids, like what are you seeing that's disturbing? Some people are saying that it's more encouraging, like people just need to get with the times, that this is kind of the new guard, and others are saying like, nah, I'm not willing to normalize certain things. Where are you at with it, just strictly speaking about the youth aspect that you were alluding to?
I would say it's the funny stuff in the cartoons when it comes to just anything in regards to anything sexual. I don't care if it's men and women. I don't care if it's man on man, woman on woman. Just anything in regards to anything sexual, kids should not be seeing. Point blank. Period. Even when it comes, I even had this discussion with somebody before. I said I wouldn't make my kid follow a religion. You know what I'm saying? Even if I believed in it, I would teach them about religion, and I would show them love, and then from there they can make their own decision. So I'm like, yo, this is what I believe. This is what I think is right. This is what I think is wrong. You make a decision on what you want to do. You know what I mean? Because I don't want them to feel like, oh, you forced me to believe in this, and you forced me to believe in that. I ain't forced you to do nothing. You know what I mean? I just want you. The only thing you forced to do is obey the rules of my house, and that's it. That's about it. That's all I care about. But what you believe and how you believe in, and do you believe this person's coming back or not coming back? That's up to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna give you what I believe is true, and that's it. Hey, salute to Mr. Cam. Good morning, good morning. But yeah, at the end of the day, like that's where I would stand, man. Like when it comes to kids, I think kids should just be kids, man. Let them play, educate them on life, and you know what I mean. Give some good food, man, and that's about it. You know what I mean? And believe in the things that they believe in, man. If they have something that they really want to do, and they have a dream that they want to make happen, like they want to be like a fireman, or they want to be a policeman or a politician, or whatever they want to be, encourage them, man. Encourage them and support and believe, man, because that's what they need. They don't need you spewing your beliefs and what you think is right and wrong onto them. They're not here for that, man. They're here to be a child. Let a child be a child. Let a child stay in a child place. And everything else will work itself out. And then in time comes, you'll have those conversations about, sex and religion and all other stuff. But rather than that, man, just let them rock, man. Let them chill. You know what I mean? Let them be a kid. You know what I mean?
I gotta pick it up from there, because I like what you said, but there is some things that are going on that are making that a bit more, let's just say, convoluted. So either man says your kids are more equipped for the world if they go to a school that is a melting pot, which I absolutely agree. If you're going to a school that's all black or all white or all any specific one ethnic group, you definitely are culturally deficient. You know what I mean? The things that you know about others are perception versus reality, right? Stereotypical tropes that may or may not be true, and it's just kind of just to assume that they are true is very disrespectful. So when you are going to that melting pot, you can understand firsthand, like, hey, this is how this specific group moves. And it doesn't mean that, like, hey, this is this social experiment and now you're an expert on white studies, Asian studies, or nothing, but it will definitely help prepare you. And that's why they actually push for, I'm sure the man could attest to this, they push for at least diversity of races and ethnic groups in the military, because they think that it does help prepare them, mentally, spiritually, and even physically, because I know certain groups are able to have genetics, other groups are able to have technique, some other groups may have specialized herbs or a diet, and you bring that together, and that's the melting pot, right? And Miss Cam A says kids are forced to grow up way too soon. I want my kids to go back to believing in the Easter Bunny. I don't really care so much about them believing in the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus, but Ninja Turtles, you could do that. You know what I mean? Rugrats or Doug or something. Believe in that and say you should influence your kid. Now, I
Shout
do
out to
agree with
KFM.
that, but either man, come on, bro. You should influence your kids, but that's almost kind of like drugs are bad. Like we know drugs are bad, bro. Like you should influence your kids. Yes, you should influence your kids, but no matter how much influence you got, how many times do you see these rich kids, you know, growing up with everything? They're growing up with maids, butlers, two parents in the house, nannies, and then they still turn it. I mean, that's a pretty positive influence, right? You're growing up around money. You're growing up with which both of your
Boy
parents
cooking,
married.
man. That boy cooking.
I'm just saying, look, I'm from the Bay Area, and there's a all boys school that's very prestigious called De La Salle, and there's all girls school called Crondelet. Crondelet, all of those girls is over 4.0 GPA, right? But when they at the party, I'm just saying, you feel me? They take it more than 4 inches in certain areas. I'm gonna just leave it like that. And these are very educated. These are very educated, preppy girls, right? They were influenced positively by their parents, but there's certain things that's like human nature. You know what I mean? I'm sure Big Rig was influenced by his dad, and then you still probably cut class or did something you wasn't supposed to do. So I can't put all of that on the parents and say, oh, my parent didn't influence me. Because if these kids are growing up fast and we're saying, man, these kids are smart, so shouldn't they be smart enough to decipher? Because we know that they know what's good and bad, right? I'm just saying these kids do know what's good and bad. So now it's not about influence, right? Big Rig, if you told your son what he not needs to do and he does it anyway, you'll get the blame, but influence wasn't the reason. There you go. And it wasn't because of influence. Sometimes you gotta fall down to really know. But I mean, I do agree, not enough people. I don't totally and he said, if you don't influence your kids, the world will. And that's what I was getting at. The world is going to influence your kid no matter what. What you're supposed to do is make your kid have enough mental fortitude that your influence is going to reign supreme. And either, man, you are an upstanding gentleman, so I believe that you will have a positive influence. But if we're looking at this statement just as a generalized blanket statement, if you don't influence your kids, will you know who else has influenced them kids? Pookie and Ray Ray in the hood. You know who else has influenced their kids? A bunch of ratchet baby mamas. You know who else is influencing their kids? A bunch of pedos. You know who else has influenced their kids? A bunch of racists. So sometimes people are like, you need to influence your kids. I'm like, this dude is a racist. Like, does he really need to influence his kid? You need to influence your kid. Like, this dude been pimping since pimping been pimping. Does he need to influence his kid? Just saying. Some chicks have been hoeing since before you've been born. Do they need to influence their kids? And influence them with what? Just saying. Fair questions to ask. And he says, I don't lie to my kids. It's called having an active imagination. And he says, my kids will never know Santa Claus. Yeah, I'm not with that, bro. You come in the house with a $600 PlayStation, like Santa got that. Like, no. No, sir. Saint Nick.
Saint Nick in my motherfucking house.
Bro, Saint Nick slaps is wild, cuz if you come through with the big old goodie bag, it's like it's just letting them steal your shine. Like, no, I can't do that.
That's exactly what you doing, bro. You let this man really steal your shine, bro. All the hard work you put in, rapping these motherfuckers late night, hiding from the kids in closets and shit. You know what I'm saying? You gonna let this dude Santa Claus and Rudolph the Red-Nosed motherfucking get up out of here, bro.
And Either Man says reading books helps kids have an active imagination. I fully concur with this. My mom used to say, and this was in the hood too. She was like, yeah, and I'm gonna be real, bro. I was like, oh my god, like other kids is out playing, and I'm in here reading like some little dork. All right, whatever. And then I just started reading, but it was some books that was kind of fire, like the Berenstein Bears. It was like Shel Silverstein, like they had these poem books and stuff.
Even Snoopy had a line of books. You remember Snoopy?
Snoopy. I used to do
like
the
educational
Where's
books.
Waldo's books. You know about them? Where's Waldo?
Yep.
Bruh, the Where's Waldo help with your eye coordination. So I was like, look, if I'm gonna do the books, I'm gonna do a topic that's fun for me. But I do agree, this is the reason why many kids don't have an imagination now, because they rely on technology.
Yep.
So when we were young, we would play cops and robbers. So we would be like, bang, bang, bang.
Right.
I'm a cop, you're a robber. Now they get on a 4K TV with a high level console and play a game that has a digitized version of a cop and a robber, and you can talk to your friends,
and a police chase,
and you can buy a donk, and you can add rims on it. So it takes away from the imagination. It's actually a form of dumbing down intellectually, because now instead of you creating something using your imagination, you're just going to type in a prompt and have something else create for you, or
copy paste.
Yeah, correct. And shout out to Raw B Privilege sliding through.
Hey, Raw B, okay.
Shout out to Raw B.
Shout out to Daryl Long. And then he says, "Know your vibe." Now you cooking. Either man, you was looking a little shaky. I was like, "Come on, either man cooking now." Yo, Dad got this PS5. Like, no, it's no Santa over here. Nothing. Look, if you want to sing the praises of the jolly fat guy, cool. But this actually, I might give Santa some credit, like that coal over in your stocking. Santa brought that, but Bobby, he brought this PS5. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, Santa brought your stocking. You know what I'm saying?
Santa got you some socks. I didn't want socks. Hey, you can thank Santa for that.
He got you that Old Spice deodorant up in that chain.
Oh, bruh, don't mention the Old Spice. The one is, they had the barber one, like the aftershave. It came with a kid. Yeah, it came with a kid.
And Brute.
The Brute, yeah. Man.
Shout out to Walgreens.
Shout out to Avon. But KMA says the Santa Claus thing doesn't work here in South Africa. I'm sure it doesn't.
Yeah, it better not.
But shout out to all the people. But I want to touch on something that Mr. Best was talking about. So there's a lot of policy right now where, because Mr. Best said, just let the kids be kids. Something to that effect, I'm paraphrasing. And I would concur with that sentiment. The only issue is in certain parts of the country, including California, there's an active push, and some of these legislations have already been passed to where if someone has a son and his son is at school being influenced by certain things, and they say, hey, you know what, I want to change my gender, there are certain institutions that makes it easier for the kid to come out and change their gender and transition, and the schools will help facilitate that. And they're trying to work as a safe haven to say, hey, if your kid wants to change their gender, we will affirm, that's what it is, we will affirm their gender, and then we'll tell you about it. So somebody might have a son, and then after the school affirms their gender, yeah, you come pick up a daughter now. And then if you say, hey, no, I will not accept this. This is my son. Y'all are crazy. Then CPS could get involved. They can say that you're actually abusing this child. Because as Mr. Best said, we got to let the kids be kids. And now on one hand, they said the kids are too young to know certain things. But when it comes to gender affirming, oh yeah, they're smart enough to know that. And you should allow them to do that because you need to give them the space to be whatever they want to be. Now there's like active push, there's legislation, there's politics, and many people are arguing about frivolous things, popping out babies left and right, saying they care about their kids. And then there's legislation being passed and put forth like this, and there's not enough people talking about it. Some people will talk about it in form of a grift to get clicks, but many parents are not talking about it in a way to actually do anything about it or combat anything. And a lot of that has to do with the segregation, the separation, the cognitive dissonance. People stand away from each other, fighting and bickering over things that don't matter. But you say your kids matter, right? You know, do you want your kid to just change their gender? You gave birth to a gender that's disrespectful to the parents, in my belief. If you give birth to a daughter, some people are saying, hey, I always wanted to have a daughter. I'm a girl dad, but then your girl wants to be your son now, and you're just supposed to accept that. And if you don't, you should be penalized as a parent. I'm just not okay with that. But some people are happy that society is headed this way and others are not. So I'll go back to Big Rig and Mr. Best. You can chime in. Where do you stand with that, with the gender affirmation, Big Rig? Because I know you talked about having a hands-off policy, and I know you're understanding with your child, but hypothetically, you don't have to relate it to your child. Just as a parent, you know, are you okay with the school helping to affirm your child's gender and change whatever gender they would like to be? You know, for the child's protection is what they're saying.
I mean, we doing our show, bro. So you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna give my answer. You already know what it is, though. But hell nah, bro. And to be honest with you, if they even came at my son with that type of shit, like, you know, what do you go by? You know what I'm saying? He's standing right in front of you, bro. He ain't
Oh,
gonna hear that shit.
they asked him his pronoun.
Yeah, like what you
Yeah,
male, female.
that's what I think it's called, a pronoun, because someone had asked me that, and they said I go by the pronoun they them something, and then I was just standing there because I never, you know what I'm saying, like I never been like, hey, what up, Big Rig, my pronouns is, so I was kind of just like taken aback, but then I also didn't want to like make them feel uncomfortable because they were like, hi, my pronouns are they them, etc. And I was just like, nice to meet you, because I don't really go by that, but yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's where society is not necessarily headed, because it's already there. So what's headed is that it's going to go even further than that. Whatever they've asked your son now is just like kicking the tires, right? It's just only going to go further than that, to where it gets more normalized. And some people are saying that it should be normalized, because if it's not, then you are very hateful to this specific group. But it could be you're just very traditional, have a certain set of ideals that you want to instill in your child. You don't necessarily want the school or society saying, hey, your child is this, or let your child be this. When you look at some of these other groups, since people like to always compare, some of these non-black groups, and I don't even need to get specific on what ethnicity, a lot of these non-black groups, they'll tell your kid like, yeah, this family comes from a line of doctors. You're going to be a doctor. Mom, I don't want to be a doctor. It's like, we're not asking, right? You're going to be a doc, you know what I mean? So there's certain things like that where you're carrying on, and people just accept that and say, hey, well, those are the parents. The kid didn't want to be a doctor, but the parents worked hard. But then if you say, hey, look, my son is going to be a son, he's not changing his gender, and that's that, then suddenly people are acting like you're less of a parent, you're not as understanding, and you
It's a
need to
lot of
give
sick
it
people, bro.
time. Yeah, like I said, this is what's being normalized. And if you are rebelling against it and say, look, I'm not normalizing it, that's where the attack is going on. And since people are not showing enough solidarity for each other, kind of like when the trans people are competing in sports, I got nothing against trans people, but I just think that once the trans men are like fighting, the biologically born women, that should just be fighting the different competition. That's my only issue. Can just compete against other, other trans people, you know what I mean? But just give them more options to do their thing. But still, you shouldn't be trying to cut the parent out of this whole process and saying, hey, we're just going to let them compete with sports. We're just going to let them go to the bathroom. We're just going to let them go, because there was some people on the swim team. One of the guys, well, he was a guy, and his name, I don't know if this was his name, but his name is Leah Thompson or something like that, but was swimming and then start swimming with the girls. And one of the girls was like, look, this person kind of got like a pole, right? So this person is walking around, flopping, his man parts around in the female locker room, and a bunch of females just had to accept that because this person was identifying, as a woman. So society isn't headed there; it's already there. Where it's headed, we don't really know. Like, do we have to just adjust to how it is currently? Because you can't really put the toothpaste back in the tube. So some people are happy with this, right? Because they're saying everyone is being included. There's drag show readings in certain areas. There's more like people being more inclusive. Sometimes they fly rainbow flags at the White House. So society is, some people call it more progressive, but is it progressive to you though? Like, do you think that all of this promotion of all these things is progressing? Because what they say is, other people have been marginalized, they're even saying the kids are marginalized. The kids are marginalized because they don't have anyone to affirm their gender. Other people are marginalized because, because of their sexuality. So there's a lot of things, policy going on to appease certain groups and certain people. And I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I could say that I'm happy with it. I think there's like a hyper focus on that when we have very pressing issues like housing, homelessness, people not being able to afford a home. Those are more pressing issues than gender affirming care and focusing on someone's sexuality. What say you, Mr. Best?
That's a fact. That's why I say there's so many sick people out there, bro, because there's so many other issues, and like they be putting tens on this bullshit, bro. Like, it's crazy, man. I don't get it.
Yeah. And either man says, if I said I was a lion, you would say I had a mental illness. It is a mental illness.
No, he said if he was a loin, he a pork loin. That's what he said.
Oh, okay. My bad. If he was pork,
I'm just playing with you, either man.
if he was Porky Pig. Hey, well, I mean, that is true, right? Because I could say that I identify as Spider-Man. And who are you to say that I'm not the Black Spider-Man? But also, I've brought this up before. And then I would love for y'all to chime in, and especially the chat. And thank everybody for rocking with us. Actually, you
Yeah,
know what?
salute to the chat.
I gotta give, and this is a late night, but I'm feeling the chat. Most definitely, everybody came through to represent. So I gotta give y'all a proper. You are now tuned into another installment of Easily Rigged on the Knowledge and Relationships platform. Your viewership and support is immensely appreciated, and for that, we thank you. So yeah, we definitely thank y'all for rocking with us on this extremely late night. And just while we're on this specific issue, look, I have no issue with any person. I'm a humanitarian, so I don't really get caught up with people's sexual proclivities, what they do in their bedroom, etc. What I'm speaking about is a certain mindset and a certain societal and logical precedent that we set. So if we are to say that, hey, this person was born a man and they make whatever alterations, and now that they can identify as a woman and they are still walking around with the penis, but I must not misgender them and I must call them a woman, because if I don't, I am being highly offensive. If I was to say, you know what, I accept that reality and this is where society is headed going forward, that's transgender. But, and I'm being facetious with this line of reasoning, but what about trans age, right? What about transracial? If I want to have a better opportunity at getting a job, can I identify as a white guy named Benjamin Buttons? If someone is a sick and perverted
They look
pedophile,
at you crazy, bro.
but I'm saying if someone is a perverted pedophile, and I've heard them say this, could they identify as a 12-year-old and interact with the 12-year-old? Hey, I'm not 30, I'm 12. You see what I'm saying? Trans age, transracial, trans species. Hey, I'm a seal. You have to identify me as part seal, part human. And if you don't, you're misrepresenting me. So it sounds funny, but it's not funny when it comes to the gender. It's funny when it comes to age. It's funny when it comes to race. But when gender, we're just supposed to accept that. We have to accept transgender, but we can't accept trans age. We can't accept transracial. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm just saying it seems a bit contradictory, but you know, that's just me. What say you? And shout out to Zara B in the building.
Salute.
Stopping by. And he says, you can do whatever you want, just stay away from kids. Don't talk to me if you don't want my truth. If you don't want your true what? Your true opinion?
His truth.
Oh, his truth. Okay, got you. Yeah, no, I agree with you. See, my thing is people have to be able to accept other people's perspective and uncomfortable truth. There's there's the truth, and your truth. You know, when people say my truth, no one has a monopoly on truth, you know, and you may have some things that you believe to be true, but that doesn't necessarily make it true.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Von Eric and
Von Eric, man.
It's your faith. And shout out to Mr. Best. He had to depart, but he came through.
He had to
Chilled for a
vacate.
little
Salute
bit.
84.
But one more time, Zara B in the building. Shout out. But yeah, what do you have to say based on what I was saying, about the transracial, trans age? Have you heard any of this type of stuff or what?
No, I ain't really heard too much of that, bro. But I'm gonna keep it real, man. That shit it just really upsets me. B. I'm not. It sucks to say it, but I'm not ready for that bullshit. I try to keep it. I try to be as positive as possible and not try to lose my head or say something, too off the hook or something, bro. But I'm really not feeling none of that shit, dog. Like I'm not feeling it.
And shout out to Zara B. She says, either man, they're pushing it in our schools here is crazy. There's a disproportionate amount of kids that believe they are different sex, you would call it, in middle school. And what state are you
That's what
in,
I'm
Zara
saying,
B?
bro. That's crazy.
We're in California. Yeah, because there's many people that are saying, oh no, there's not an agenda. You are just being against this specific group. But there is an
Man,
agenda. If you're saying that, hey, we're going to help you affirm, that means that you've set out an organization to set forth an agenda. Your agenda is to make it easier for them to affirm.
right,
You're not doing that because you just love these kids and you care about them so much. Because
right.
let's just say that they do love these kids. Why are you saying that you love the kids that want to change their gender so much
Hmm.
versus the kids that are growing up in gang bang and abusive lifestyles? There's some of these kids that are growing up barely being able to eat at night. You don't care about them. But the one that says, I want to be a girl, you're like,
Right,
come on down. We got money for you.
right,
We got resources for you. We have families to adopt you. We will make policy for you. They're arguing
right.
about saying we don't deserve to give these kids a free lunch. There's no such thing as a free lunch, even though in America and globally we waste over 50% of our food. You think
Hmm.
I'm lying? How many times have you bought something and you like, oh, I'm gonna eat the rest of this and you waste it? How many times do you let something expire and you throw it away? You know it. We waste over 50% of our food, yet we're complaining about giving the kids a free lunch. But you think gender affirming care is free? What do you think is less expensive? Giving some kids a free lunch, some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, some milk and celery, or some gender affirming care that's helping them do surgical procedures? Like, what are we talking about here, bro?
Man, man, oh man.
I mean, is it irrefutable, right? And let me kind of segue and get, because like, are you happy with where society is headed? Because it's not just that. I'm gonna bring up some imagery, and hopefully either man is still around. And Zara B, if you are here, I would love for you to chime in. And where is Miss KMA? Because is this where society is headed? Are you happy with where society is headed? What do you see happening on the screen right now, Big Rig?
Man, I see a woman proposing, bro.
Was that a disturbing image to you? Do you think that's the norm?
That's that's, that's a
Is that
little different, bro.
is that equality?
Yeah,
Would you have an issue if a woman had proposed to you? Some guys said they would find it as disrespectful, and others say, "Hey, I'm the prize, so yeah, she should propose."
I wouldn't necessarily find it disrespectful, bro. But I would tell her to get up off her knee, man, and cut that shit out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Gotcha.
let me do that. You know what I mean? If we come into that type of know part in our life, let me do that, bro. I don't need you to get on your knees and do that. Let me do that.
Is it a form of like emasculation that might be unintentional?
I think it's just traditional, bro. It's you know,
But we don't live in a traditional society anymore, though,
and
bro. We we
I
live
could dig everything you say on that part, but I
we live
can't,
in a modern society, Brody.
I can't see that, bro. But I wouldn't take it as disrespect or none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably chuckle. You know what I'm saying? Give her a nice hug and shit, and appreciate the whole
She gonna want
gesture.
to take the ring back. She get on her knees to propose. You hit her
I
with a
got
shovel.
mouthpiece, dog, so I'll be able to, get her head right. You know what I'm saying? But nah,
Got you. But what about the whole marriage though? Because I don't know if you've seen, there have been like a wave of divorces, bro. Like high level people getting divorced in just the past month. A lot of them were celebrities, but those were just the celebrities versus the people that, just the average Joe and Jane that got married too. So, are you
B, I'm gonna keep
happy
it.
with?
I'm gonna keep it real, bro. I'm not trying to be like on a whole relationship type of hype, but I'm not really one to be like, hella pushing marriage, bro, because I don't think everybody need to be married, bro. I just I just don't. I don't think that it's in everybody's card to be married, bro.
Yeah, no,
And
I
some
got
people,
you. And no, this definitely ain't gonna be like a whole relationship hype, but it does tie into the topic of, are you happy with where society is headed? Because you can't really escape certain relationships, right? Certain relationship, a friendship is a relationship, dealing with your coworkers is a relationship, and
no,
now
absolutely.
I'm with you though. So what I'm saying is, since people are already in different relationships, is marriage the most valuable relationship? You know what I mean? Because for some people they would say yes, but let's just say there's some people in a marriage and they say this is a valuable relationship, but they're unhappy and it may be a sexless marriage. And then some people are just not married, but they've been living together for 20 years and they love each
Absolutely,
other.
and that's what I'm saying, bro.
Which one is
You just
which one is better?
it's it's
Other
it's,
Others gonna say the marriage is better off top. You know
it's
how they
whatever
gonna say.
falls into your cards, though, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like you just said it, bro. There's people that they stick it out 20 plus years, bro. They ain't married, and there's people that get married and they're just miserable, bro. They sleeping in different bedrooms, different beds, they just staying together for the kids or whatnot. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
facts. So you got 18 years of that. Y'all ain't fooling with each other, but you toughing it out. And then I know people that stay together because they family pushed them so much to be together that it will look
Oh, that's some
embarrassing.
cultural shit too. That's some cultural shit.
Exactly. I'm not gonna bring up the specific cultures, but yeah, it's true. Like, and then because I know some people where they did try to divorce and the family literally had like a council meeting and was like,
Oh
no,
yeah.
y'all working this out.
Period.
And they saying, look, we don't care. Y'all don't gotta love each other, right? We don't care if
Absolutely.
y'all smashing each other. We don't
Absolutely.
care. We don't care if y'all don't never have sex again, but y'all not getting
Hmm.
divorced. That's all they care
Hmm.
about. It's not
Hmm.
getting. It's crazy. So sometimes people will just look at married and say they're happily married. Yeah, on Instagram, and that's what they've shown you, right? And then also me, so it's like, if I don't show how awesome my life is, then that means your life must be lame. Does that make any sense? Right? So by that logic, if I don't show that I got a fast car, you don't even have a car. Why? Because I didn't show it to you. You know what I mean? Like Big Rig is not in a healthy relationship. Why? Because I didn't blast it on social media for you to criticize it.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at. People are looking for, well, if your relationship is really so happy, why don't you post them on social media? Like I'm in such a good position that's why I haven't you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's the worst thing to do. I'm gonna keep it 100. I tell all my homies, man, don't even post your girl, don't tag your girl, bro. Especially if she look good, don't do none of that shit, bro.
The tag be crazy because the moment you tag,
It's
next
over.
thing you know is over. Next thing you know, you like, hold on, because you'll go to their page
Your
and
good buddies will be over there fucking trying to,
follow.
you know what I'm saying,
You like,
follow and deep.
none of y'all was
It's over.
following her. Now all of a sudden, it's like 10 mutual niggas that's following. I'm like, bro, what?
You seeing likes out of nowhere and comments and shit. You like, what the fuck? This nigga follow me. This nigga I done fucking tagged my bitch. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, I hear you, bro. But
And I mean, it's vice versa too. You know, with the ladies, you know, you tag your man or whatnot. You gonna have them
you know,
thirsty ass guys doing the same shit.
it's definitely mutual. I mean,
For
with the
sure.
vice versa. But with society, and then this is another thing, bro. The housing, like rental, how like every type of cost, whether it's rental cars, whether it's car insurance, used cars, buying a house, renting a house, everything is up. So there's really no way you can be happy with where society is headed in that regard. And I'm gonna tell people straight up, a lot of y'all is gonna have to suck it up. A lot of y'all is gonna have to make up with your friends and family that you ain't cool with, and y'all gonna have to start rooming with each other because
They ain't ready to hear that real shit, bro. Because
look,
everybody 100+ K fucking a year and that type of conversation that don't exist with these people, bro.
look,
But you're
I'm
absolutely right.
I'm looking up this stuff in real time. So hold on, just so y'all know, I'm not jaw jacking. Uh,
We don't do no
but
jobs and over here on easily rigged, man.
yeah, you know. So look, people are gonna have to become minimalists. You're going to have to start. Even the people that think that they're making a lot of money, there's certain areas in parts of San Francisco where people
Make
are
sure you clip that shit too, B. I don't mean to cut you off, but you need to clip what you just said about a good minute and a half or so ago. Because that's a fact. You're going to have to make up with some of these cats that you done fell out with. Because this shit is up and it is stuck, bro. This shit is not coming down.
Yeah. So it says, according to rentdata.org, the average fair market rent for a 2-bedroom home in California is $2,405. And that really depends on where you're at. They got places that's not even worth that. And it says Zillow reports that the median rent for all bedrooms is $2,899, so about $2,900, between $29 to $3,000 is.
And they want you to make double to 3 times that to qualify.
Correct. How many of y'all are making 3 times $3,000 a month? And a lot of places want you to have a 600 to 700 credit score. How many of you guys have that?
I mean, let's really talk about it, bro.
Let's really talk about it. Then also let's just say that you do have it, and then you have a family member, right? You're in your place, you're paying $3K. They're in their place, they're paying $3K.
Man,
And you're in another place paying $3K. That's $12K collectively. When y'all could just come together, suck it up, right? And you'll be paying a lot less than $3K.
go get you something dope up there in the hills, man, and y'all have your own section of the house, bro. Something, you feel me?
Yeah, instead of you paying $3K by yourself, how about you pay $2K? You save the $1,000, Everyone is saving. If y'all all are paying between 1,500 to 2K, y'all will have a place with more than enough space for your friends and your
Man,
family. Not everybody is going to be at the house at the same time. If you have a garage, people convert garages into bedrooms. I've seen people that have master closets and turned in
man,
their kid was only 1 years old. Your kid can live in that master closet until they about 4 or 5. I'm just keeping it real. By that time, you would have had enough money to get up out of there. So ideally, you can look and say, "Man, I'm not living like that. That's some broke stuff." Well, how you're living right now is even broker than that. And the people with more money than you live like that. So some people will say, "Man, I'm not using a coupon." Okay, the person over there that has more money than you is willing to use a coupon. Man, I'm not doing this. Okay, the person that has more money than you is doing that. You know,
man, I'm clipping coupons like a motherfucker, bro, digitally. You know what I'm saying?
bro,
Food
I
done went up so high, bro.
food is many right now. I stay clipping coupons and cats like how you get all the savings. It's like, bruh, they didn't give these exclusively to me. I'll download an app, get the coupon. You can just
Man,
delete the app because you don't gotta really keep.
dude,
You
bro.
feel me? Like, but if you know it's a place that you regularly dine at or
Frequent.
shop at, yeah, then it makes sense. For instance, Safeway, right? I go to like grocery outlet, food max or some stuff like that, but certain things Safeway has. I'll use the Safeway app, get
Click,
something
click,
from
click.
Safeway. Exactly. And they got some that are like only exclusive to the app. So what I'm saying is you need to find alternative means to make money and to pull your resources together.
Learn how to be frugal around this motherfucker.
Super frugal because it's gonna get ugly, and people think, okay, 5-10 years is gonna go by quick, but what opportunities is gonna be there for your kids? It's a lot of AI that's taking over things. They are flooding the zone with a lot of illegal immigrants. Once they do that to stagnate the wages, and so they can kind of exploit them. They know that they can pay them lower, and they can always threaten to like send them back. They know that they can pay them cash under the table. If they can pay them cash under the table, tax free for a lower rate, the same work, that means you're not going to be getting paid. Then, on top of that, since they don't have bank accounts, a lot of them have cash on them. They're kind of like a walking lick. Some of them are
Mm.
coming from areas and you don't even know what their criminal background is. So, some of them are actual criminals, but they come over here with no criminal record even though they're a criminal. They just don't have a criminal record over here. So it's a whole lot of this stuff that is going to just start getting out of control. So you need to link up with the people and say, hey, look, I'm gonna save some money. I'm gonna live with this friend, family member for 2-3 years, stack up some money. Eat at home. I'll only eat out on Fridays or something like that. Uh, stop doing frivolous stuff. Do you need all the makeup? Do you need to keep getting your nails done? Do you need an extra pair of shoes? Do you need to buy some $100 jeans to just walk around Walmart? Does your kid need some video games and they not even doing good in class? So things are going to get ugly. So shout out to OG Patrice in the building.
G. Patrice.
OG Patrice up late night. Shout out OG Patrice. And if anybody wants to join the stream, just let us know. We'll drop the link. Otherwise, we just gonna rock out, just me and the bro, because we haven't been here in a while. But if anyone does want to join the stream, just let us know, and we'll get to it. But yeah, like you said, the food cost is up. Gas, bro, they've normalized $5 gas. It's just like
Not
normalized,
talking about no gas, bro.
bruh. Peep this. And speaking of that, that's a perfect one. A lot of y'all need to start considering public transportation. and carpooling. And you need to be planning your trip. So let's say you drive out to Safeway in the morning, then you go to Starbucks in the afternoon, then you go all across the town in the evening, and then late night you got to go grab something. What you need to do is plan and say, okay, I want Starbucks plus I want this, and you plan a route to where you can do that all in one fell swoop, because gas is getting extremely expensive.
That's how I move too, man. I'm glad you put that out there because that's exactly how I move. Find out what you got to do, take care of, and try to hit everything within that radius, bro. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going, coming back, going out again, coming back. That shit, bro. That's old.
Yeah, it's super burn. And then also, not only that, stop trying to race everybody, bro. If you see me in something hot, don't try. I'm not racing you, bro. I'm not, bro. Like if we was to race, they got drag strips that we can. First of all, if I don't know you, what am I racing? Because if I win, then what I could be? I beat some random dude on the freeway. Like who was he? I don't know.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, bro. You ain't winning nothing. You beat this nigga on the street. You ain't winning nothing.
So I'm saying,
you getting
bro,
off on the next exit. You getting off on the other one. Yeah, I mean, it's
well, you got to get off on the next exit anyways because you're gonna burn your gas. If you chirping at the light, they said it can use up to 20% on your gas each time. So yeah, you dipping and yoking, but it's I have a big block, bro. Well, I actually sold it, but like I had a big block, bro. So I think it was 9 miles in the city, bro. 9 miles, bro. 12 max and then 17 freeway. Come on, bro. That's
trash.
Super trash. So imagine if you speeding up to the stoplight. Imagine if you burn out at every stoplight. Imagine if somebody like what it do. Imagine if somebody pull up next to you and you race them. So a lot of times people be racing. It's like, bro, you burning your gas to race someone, and then let's just say you win all of those races. You're actually losing because you won a race, and now you got to go to the pump and then put even in more money in the tank.
And tires.
And tires. And OG Patrice says, to answer the question in the thumbnail, I don't like where society is headed. If we don't change, if change don't come soon, we're pretty much doomed. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that we're already doomed. I think that we're on the brink of doom, destruction, and despair. Some people are already there, so they are. If any set of people, this is what I will say: if any set of people are equipped to deal with the dysfunction and destruction, it's us, right? Because a lot of us pride on getting it out the mud. Now, some people say that it's just a cliche because it sounds good, but a lot of us actually have gotten it out of the mud. So once the situations get very murky and muddy, we feel right at home. Like, oh man, these just the same muddy waters that I've been swimming and trekking in. But other groups, they've never gotten dirty before. So the muddy waters to them is going to feel like a volcano, you know? And Zara says the price of petrol is more than triple here in UK. So that means it's $5 here. It's like $15 to $20 out there, bro. Sheesh.
That's bad. He had to go on Avatar mode for that one.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The war, the inflation, all of these things cause politics, cause for prices to fluctuate. A lot of these things are by design because once they make people more desperate, destitute, that's when they're able to further exploit you. They use your desperation against you. So shout out to Zara. Hopefully, you're able to survive, because like I said, it's really ugly, bro. And people got to look at the global trends. I know we got so much stuff going on here, but you do have to at least be slightly informed of what's going on globally. And you don't really need to be that. Just surround yourself with someone who is up on the geopolitics and go over it together. Like, hey man, could you put me on a little bit of game? Or hey, where could I find more information about this? Because they test a lot of stuff overseas, whether it's weapons and drones and military training. They do a lot of that stuff overseas first. So when they bring it over here, they already know that it worked because they did it on on the African continent or some other what they would call a third world country. They did that over there and tested it out on them, so they know that it will work on you, right? Whether it's the slave trade, whether it's chemical warfare, certain sarin gas, just some random examples, but they've tested this on other human subjects and sometimes mice and whatever other species. So they know what will and won't work psychologically, physically, technologically. So people gotta wake up because it's only gonna get uglier. Like I said, we've already been under a surveillance state since 9/11, the Patriot Act. Look at that stuff. You already know what all of the social media, right? In order to get on this app, do you allow us access to your camera, this, photos, all this other stuff? You can say no, but then you can't get on the app. And then if Big Rig ain't on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever site, then you're not going to have any serious or legitimate presence. So what do you have to do to get on there? You have to say, yes, I accept. So now when they say, hey, Big Rig is a suspected terrorist, Big Rig is trying to start a new Black Panther party, all they got to do is just go to Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, X, whatever they call it, and say, hey, this dude is a terrorist. We need all of his information. What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to say, no, we're not giving the information up? So they already have that on you. Now they're pushing for biometrics. They're pushing for chips. And they're saying all of this stuff is to make life more convenient for you. Look at how many places where they install more cameras. They're pushing to have a social credit score where you go to a lot of places. It does a facial recognition and then it gives a social credit score. This is not some dystopian future. They already have it in China. So it will scan your face, and then once it scans your face, it checks your social credit score to see, like, what have you been posting online? Have you been posting racist stuff? Have you been posting insensitive stuff? And if so, then you'll have a low social credit score. And then if you're at the grocery store, they can say, no, we don't want to sell you these bananas because of your low social credit score. Now, some of this stuff sounds funny, delusional, imaginary, but this is reality. It's already happening in China. They already have the technology. Where do we get most of our technology from? China. So, just saying, people got to wake up, man. If you're not happy with where society is headed, what are you doing about it? What are you saying about it? Who are you organizing with? Some people feel helpless and say, I can't do anything about it. So, if you can't do anything about it, what is your recourse? Just sit back and let nature take its course, right? So, but when people are pushing a particular agenda, that's not really natural, right? That's intentional, but it's not natural. And then I would also say, with society, the masculinity is in question. I can speak about the femininity, but I'll just deal with the masculinity. So what are you seeing in that regard? Because I've seen some stuff that was, a little bit weird, a little bit disturbing to me. And I think you even mentioned it before. I'm not a huge fan of bonnets. I don't really like bonnets. That's just me. Now, if a woman is using it for what it's for, which is sleeping attire, I'm not gonna be looking like, hey, you're going to bed and you're wearing a bonnet. Like, that's what it's for. But when you're
You just
coming
got
out,
on bonnets right now, bruh.
hey, we're talking about where society is headed, and this is here right now.
The bonnet game.
The bonnet brigade is non-binary. I thought it was just the women. Now I'm seeing
Dudes is wearing bonnets, bro.
and it's supposed to be some sort of bonnet do-rag. As like, could you speak on that? Have you
I
ever?
wear a hair sock, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't wear no mother freaking bonnet, bro. I be seeing
Oh,
brothers.
hold on, Big Rig. Don't a hair sock. That sound like a bonnet. Sound like a bonnet by different name.
Brother, that's you see a lot of people, especially like the Rastas, bro. They wear them, to keep their hair right. You understand me? I'm not putting no bonnet on my head, bro.
Look,
It's not gonna happen. But I be seeing a lot of brothers though, man. They wear bonnets, bro. Like they're puffy, they're different colors, they're the whole. They wear bonnets, bro. Like I don't get it.
yeah, that I don't get. Someone will have to try to explain that to me. I still wouldn't understand it, but I don't get it. Like if you're wearing it for style, it doesn't really look stylish. Like it's
Not stylish at all.
It's not. It's not really. If you have waves, that's not helping your waves. If you have dreads or something, there's other things that you. Well, let me
Wear
say
the hair sock.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you got locks, put them in a sock. So when I'm looking at the bonnet, what purpose?
You think the bonnet's gonna make you sweat? You feel me? Like that's gonna make that just I don't know, bro. It's a different type of material.
Yeah, somebody got to really tell me like what is going into the mindset of you wearing a bonnet, and it doesn't just stop with there. Look, I grew up as a knucklehead, and there was a period in my life where I wore extremely baggy clothes and would occasionally sag. I didn't have like an extensive period of sagging, right? Like sometimes you sag unintentionally, right? You just have some baggy clothes and you didn't have a belt, so your pants sag, and then you walking around holding them and pulling them up all the time. It's like, were you intentionally trying to sag? It was just like, no, I didn't care about sagging, but I didn't go out of my way to say, hey, look, I want to sag because it's a
These brothers sagging nowadays, bro. Their pants is damn near to their knees, bro. I don't know if they're just trying to show off their underwear. I don't know if there's like special underwear out there now that's designer. Niggas be trying to show off the belts. But these cats really sag like super low, bro. Like you can't walk, you ain't running nowhere. You definitely ain't packing no type of protection on you because your pants is so low. It's wild, bro. I seen this cat. I was in Stockton. This nigga had to be about 38 years old, bro. Had on the skinniest jeans ever. Had a belt on, and I'm telling you, his pants was like just a little bit above his knees, bro. They was like at his thigh, pimp. I was like, what the hell is this, bro? And he like 38 years old, man, on his phone, walking up into the grocery store. I'm like, I looked at my son. I said, son, you see this shit? He said, Dad, I don't even be sagging like that. I said, son, but the point is, bro, you don't even need to do it at all, bro. Look at this shit. It just don't be looking right, man. Like I don't get it, bro.
No, I don't get it right, and it has to be said in a proper way, because otherwise, people are just like, oh, whatever, you're not with the times. Like,
yeah,
no,
like you just hating or something, right?
Correct. So you always need to tie in your experience. It's like, look, this is coming from a person that used to sag, right? It's kind of like a person that's like, hey, here, look, you on the path to going towards the pen, and somebody that's been to the pen, let me tell you, you know what I mean? Let me steer you away from that because I already know what's there. All right. So it's like, look, you sag, and look, I get it. I had that period too.
They don't play that shit in there.
And that's what I try to tie it back to, because usually people are sagging. Typically, let's just say they may be prone to, some mischief, right? So cool. Like, I'm not a goody two shoes, but what I always say is like, look, the type of behavior that you doing is going to lead you to be in the pen or juvie somewhere. And if you go in juvie sagging, this is what's going to happen to you. And I just tell people straight up like that, And then and I say, do you want that to happen to you? Well, no, I wouldn't want that. Cool. Well, then you probably shouldn't be doing this. And then they have to think about it and say, hey, man, whatever. He just talking. I don't care. Some people going to have to really evaluate and say, yeah, he said some real stuff. And others, they going to get locked up, and then they going to say, hey, you was right. But what I'm saying is, some people are like, hey, you just got to let the kids get freedom of expression. But is this what we really want for society?
Yeah, you gotta set boundaries, bro. That's what I'm talking about right there, though, bro. That's what I'm talking about, though. Look at how low the pants are, bro. And then when he stand up, it's still gonna be like that. And that's how dude was walking into the store, bro. I couldn't believe it.
And the thing is, this what makes it so much worse. You have a belt, bro. Why are you even wearing a belt? If your pants is gonna be down this low, why are you wearing a belt? Now imagine this. You see this imagery, and then this person is saying, yeah, man, I'm a thug. You better not ever step to me, because I'll beat you. I'll beat you up. I'll do bodily harm to you. Or, hey, little mama, let me holler at you. I'm a high value man. Let me take you out. Come on, bro. You got to do better. And then let, bruh, let's just set this straight. There's no pair of draws that you can get that's worth walking around like this.
That's what I was trying to get at, B. I was like, I don't know, I'm older, bro, so I don't know if there's these special underwear out that, like, hey, I'm wearing the Gucci of underwear or something, you know what I'm saying? So you showing off your drawers. I don't know what the fuck, bro. But that shit just is wild, man.
Let's go with that. Cool. You're showing off your drawers to who? Think of the baddest chick that went to your school.
Right.
Think of the most baddest chick that you've worked with. And you're showing off your designer drawers, and you think that this will get her? And these types of dudes that dress like this, they be like, pause.
Hey.
Come on, bro, pause. No draws.
Right. The pause, though.
Zara says, I have never seen anything like it.
Hey, Zara, it goes down, man. I'm telling you, it ain't a lie.
This is not cap at all. This is not hyperbole. As you can see, American Eagle. You feel me? So that's what some people. And then peep this. Imagine you walking like this, and someone like, "Hey, dude, are those American Eagles?" Like,
right,
bro. Like, you're admiring his draws. Like, come on. This is wild. Then you got to look at the shirt that's scrunched up. So he wants to show his draw so much.
He wants to show, right, bro.
It's like, are we really happy with where this is headed? And some people will say, hey, I don't care. I don't dress like that. Yeah, but how does your son dress? And people be like, oh, my son don't leave the house like that. Yeah, but when he's at school, right? Maybe he doesn't.
I tell my son all the time, I ain't even lying, bro. That dude, he don't go crazy like that, but he like to have a little. I'm like, bro, come on, man, put your pants up, bro.
We all had that. That's why I was telling you, you got to come from the approach that I understand you, so I'm not just completely scolding you.
Right.
But what I'm telling you is what's unacceptable. And this is what I tie it into. Most of now your son is young, so I'm not saying so I'm just speaking general.
Shout out to my son. He turned 13 tomorrow, man. Well,
Shout
actually
out,
today.
shout out to
Yeah.
the guy, man. But that's a beautiful thing. So just shout out to the little brother, because
Yeah,
he's
he's a
gonna
teenager
start.
now, so
He's getting into the age where if he's already attracted to women, he's going to start at least pursuing them, at least in the extent of, hey, dad, I want to take this girl to the movies, if he hasn't already done that yet, right? And I'll just lay it out like, hey, that pretty girl, she's not gonna like this, bro. Like, you're looking more feminine than her. You're looking more girly than her. Don't you play football? Like, it is this how y'all wear your football uniform? And if y'all did wear your football uniforms like this, what did this mean? A lot of y'all cats is acting thug and gang. Ask some gang members who went to prison what this would mean in prison, right? Because that's where you're on the track headed towards prison. Ask them what this would mean in prison. And since you know what it means in prison, why would you come outside and be dressed like this? Right? There's no chick that you want, right? There's no chick that you want. Not even no slutty chick would be like, oh, let me get this guy who has a belt. You tightened your belt and then pulled your pants down, or you put your belt on and loosened your pants. Come on, bruh. Is this where we're headed for society?
that's where we at, bro. That's where we at.
And Zara says this is a joke. I feel uncomfortable seeing this on the screen. Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
you
it
will
is
see this in real life, Zara.
That's what I was saying. It is a joke, but it's even more uncomfortable seeing it in real life. And she says, happy birthday for tomorrow, little man. My son just turned 16 and goes so fast. So shout out to your son, Zara.
Shout out to your son, Zara.
16. So that, man, we got a lot of teenagers growing up and thriving. So salute to Zara and her youngin, soon to be an adult, man.
Hell yeah.
And Zara, like I was saying, Zara has a son. Zara wouldn't want her son dressing like this. And you can try to say that, hey, this person is being discriminatory. Yes. And when either man is saying segregation is bad, I would want my kid to segregate from kids that are dressing like this.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And they might be the solid kids, but I would talk with that kid too. Like, look, I don't want my son dressing like that. I know that you guys are great friends. I say that it's this is what I call the parental advisory challenge. What that means is, when we was all younger, we always used to cuss, right? People know when they got around school, they got around their cousins, they was dropping all sorts of cuss words that they wasn't supposed to say. And then you get around your mama and you don't say it, right? So I would prefer that these kids don't even be sagging or doing none of this stuff at all, right? But you can't control other people's kids. But in terms of the parental advisory challenge, whatever that stuff that you used to do, don't do it at my house and don't do it around my kids, right? So if you're cussing up a storm at your house, don't come to my house around my kids doing that. You sagging and doing all this stuff. Look, I wish that you didn't sag at all, but you're not going to come to my house and sag. See, right. I can't control you sagging at school and you sagging at home, but I can control that you came over to play with my son for y'all PlayStation date. That's cool. I want you to come over more. It's just, all I said is don't sag. If people have an issue with that, then yeah, maybe you don't need to be friends with my son. Because right. I'm asking a simple request. Just don't sag and don't cuss. You go at home and you sag and cuss. I have no control of that. But what you do is you set a precedent and a standard where people are cautious, right? You cussing and then you're like, oh, be quiet, man. Mom's is over there. So you at least have enough respect for that parental figure to not cuss. You know, you at least have enough respect for Big Rig's household to not sag and do all this stuff. I would like for you to not do it at all, but once you do it at your house, that's on you. But at least I'm instilling something for you to at least be conscious and think that, hey, I'm uncomfortable with you sagging, especially around my child. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
And I would expect for someone else too, right? If I know that, hey, I may have a Christian household, but my kid's friend and he has a Muslim household, right? I'm not going to be like, no. I know some people will say, no, they can't go over there because of the competing religious ideologies. But if but if my son did go over there and they ate a certain type of food, or, you know, had some, you know, like, hey, you got to make sure you take your shoes off, I would have to respect that. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
But yeah, so society, where is it headed? Man, who knows? What about the AI, bro?
Now the AI, you know, I hit you the other day on that shit. But look, the AI, man, bro, they coming to a point to where they say you ain't even gotta get you a lawyer, bro. They got an AI lawyer that's gonna put in work.
They already have one trying a case. I don't know if they won the case or not, but they did
B,
have an AI
what
lawyer.
kind of shit is that, bro?
They already got the AI robotic dogs. Well, we've already been dealing with AI. It's just it hasn't been called AI.
Even the movie actors, bro, they dogging the movie actors out. They taking clips of them and making full-fledged movies, bro.
Mm-hmm. They're taking their voices,
everything.
Some of the dude from
Drake got his Drake and another cat got a song done by AI, bro. and it did numbers on the little stream chart.
And that's what I'm saying. Even
when Drake didn't spit not one verse.
Well, that's all they got to do. He got so many other songs. They can just take his voice.
They take it, bro.
And they mimic his voice, and then they make their own lyrics.
Write the lyric, yep.
Yeah, they don't need Drake for the lyrics. They'll just make the lyrics in his Drake's voice.
Yep.
So people gonna say, "Hey, that's Drake," and other people to the naked eye will automatically know. But it's going to be enough people that says, "Hey, this sounds like Drake," and now we're getting to a point where people don't care if it's Drake, right? It's almost like on YouTube, somebody will make a video, and then the video might do a cool amount of numbers. But if someone with a bigger channel takes your video and reacts to it, now someone else who didn't create the video is reaping more benefits from your video. And sometimes that's okay, right? Like if you have a small platform and then you got like RIP like Kevin Samuels, Tariq Nasheed
reacting to your shit.
That's gonna kind of blow you up. But if you
bring you some traffic.
But if you are kind of on the rise and then someone just takes it and then, you know, they don't kind of shout you out.
Mollywops you and shit.
So now they are benefiting and monetizing from your likeness. Meanwhile, you're trying to scramble like, hey, yeah, that's my video. Yeah, but no one cares. They they want to hear someone else talk about your video. People do it all the time with Kevin Samuels, right? They'll take his video, won't even react to it. They'll just download it and then upload it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally someone taking this stream and just uploading it. They're not giving any commentary. They didn't add any editing. So some people are just taking people's art and then monetizing it. And so AI is making things like that easier to do. And Zara says that's crazy. It has a name, sagging. I completely concur, though. My rules, my house. Its sagging status, is sagging a status symbol or a sign of something? I think it's both. And sagging spelled backwards, you know, you can kind of, if you take that G off, and you know, it's going to spell an interesting word.
Oh, that's crazy. I just looked at that.
Yeah. So sagging spelled backwards spells nigga.
Knuckles.
Yeah. So you can read into that whatever you want. And then also, if you look at buck breaking and the way sagging was incorporated in there to kind of show that this person is available or had been violated. It's a lot of heinous and cruel things that are associated with sagging, but a lot of people look at it as trendy. It definitely can be a status symbol. It's not really a sign of anything. It's supposed to be a sign of style and coolness, but I'm here to tell y'all, we growing up in certain areas, you will go through a period where you think sagging is cool. So I give leeway for that for the young men of all ethnic groups, because like I was saying, if I pull up the pictures, these are not black guys sagging, you know what I mean? So it has become like a standard, but this is not cool for your young teen, and this is not cool for, you know, an older, more mature man. There's no value that you get from sagging that you don't. This is not alpha. This is not high value. This is not red pill. This is not pimping. This is not ism. It's none of that. So society, is it headed towards normalizing this? Now, sagging is not new, but what we're talking about is just the normalization. People did used to push back and say, pull up your pants. They were mainly referring to black men, but now there's not too much of the pull up your pants stuff. Now it's just like, here, sag all you want. Here, you can wear a dress. You can do whatever you want. And I'm not really happy with society being headed towards that way, not because I'm just completely against, look, if you want to wear a dress, cool. If you want to sag, cool, but that shouldn't be promoted. That shouldn't be blasted and seen as cool. It's almost like doing cigarettes, right? That they have to tell you that, hey, this will cause cancer, this will do all of this other stuff, but you can smoke it, right? So just like, if here, you can sag all you want, but you're not gonna get that girl that you want. You're not going to be able to progress in life that you want to. But sure, if you want to sag, go ahead right away. So there should be a balance of the discussion, and simply ask people, why are you sagging? I would really love to ask people, why are you sagging, bro? You know, but who knows, with the AI, maybe they'll make an AI person that's sagging. But with the AI as it is, it's beneficial, but it's also kind of detrimental to society too, because a lot of people are dumbed down. Growing up, you used to have to say, hey, look, write an essay on the Civil War. Now you can just use AI to write the essay for you.
Bombest essay you ever wrote in your life.
And you pass grades, you get an A, you graduate, and then you get a job, and then they say, hey, do this for me, and you looking all around. They're like, hold on, you should be able to
get to beatboxing.
You graduated, right? Yeah, so it's a lot of people that are just kicking the can down the road, and many people are not going to be able to adapt to this new world where with AI, there's many positions that you won't need. And a lot of people are not working skilled labor or low skilled jobs, right? And then everyone thinks they can be a content creator and get paid. Most of the content creators are not even really getting paid like that. Most of them are just on here to just have like a popularity contest, or to say, hey, look, I'm social, you know, I'm a social butterfly. Yeah, but it's not generating any funds. You know, you're spending like 5 to 10 hours of your time on a platform, and you're not even getting $100 off of it. So, and these are the people that are trying to give you advice. People are on here trying to, shoot they shot at chicks that they know they wouldn't have a chance at, walking in a mall. People are trying to give advice to people that are doing better than them in life. People are lying about their reputation. So it's just a
People
whole.
are giving people advice that are doing better than them in life, bro.
Well, they're attempting to, right? Because somebody
Jesus.
just stop me when I'm lying, bro. So since you didn't stop me, I will continue. So like I was saying, many people will hop on here, and we got a distorted reality of what success is. So I will try to support somebody and say, hey, look, this person is on Instagram or YouTube. Let me support them, and I'll subscribe to their channel, follow them on Instagram. Some people will take it to their head. Well, you followed me. Yeah, I followed you not because I'm stalking you. I followed you because I was leading by example to show you how to support. You give support to get support. And then others will think that, like, you're just so obsessed with their content that you follow them. So you know what I'll do? I'll unfollow them, because I'm in the business of reciprocation, helping each other out. Others will try to look and say, like, hey, well, I have more subscribers than you, so I don't need to sub to you. I have more followers than you, so I'm not going to follow you. So by that logic, many people I have more followers than, so I shouldn't follow them. You know what I mean? I should only follow accounts that have more followers and subs than me. And then people will be rushing to follow people account with more subs, and they're invisible to those channels. So you're over here tap dancing to be a moderator on a channel that doesn't even support you. Meanwhile, the person that does support you from the ground roots, for the grassroots, you don't want to support them because they only got like 200 subscribers. So you rather follow someone with 2 million followers who will never read your messages, who will never like your posts. But the person with 200, oh, he only got 200 followers. I'm not going to be 201. The person that has 2 million followers doesn't need your follow. It's a drop in the bucket, but you'll be willing to put that drop in that bucket. But you want to keep my bucket dry because, oh, don't got enough followers. So it's like a goofy game, bruh. If somebody
The goofy game is when a motherfucker will follow you, right? And because you a good person and you go by what you just said and reciprocate that and follow them back, as soon as you follow them back, they go ahead and unfollow you, bro, because they just trying to get their follows up.
Trust me, bro. I've dealt with this, cuz. So
I've dealt with it too.
I'll support this person, follow them, and then one time, I randomly messaged them, responded to their story, trying to show
right.
I just been a learner, and then it's like, you followed this account since, but I'm like, hold on, I followed this account. It's supposed to say y'all follow each other.
Right.
That means at some point, so they do that 42 fake, the little oovin' and doovin', you feel me? Follow you to get you in, right? And then next thing you know, bruh, they kick you to the curb, man. It's super corny. But it's like, what did I even do? Now, I can understand if we hadn't fallen out and you just say, I'm done with you, I'm going to follow you. But some people will literally say, Big Rick posts too many cars, I'm unfollowing him. Well, you taking too many selfies with duck lips and filters, but I didn't unfollow you. You taking so many photos where all you showing is your cheeks. I know one chick, she takes a photo and she's actually an attractive chick. In every photo, she covers her face with an emoji. Why do you even have a page if you're going to cover your face with an emoji? Chicks
That's
are saying
that young shit, bro. I be seeing a lot of youngsters doing that.
Yeah, I think she's like 25. So yeah.
Yep.
And they do a lot of stuff like this, bro. Like all their photos like this.
Yep.
I'm like,
or they turned around or something. You just see behind them or something. You don't see they. It's, I don't know. It's weird.
I'm like, bro, what world is this? And is they?
What are you taking a picture for?
I'm gonna be like, show me a picture of a bad chick. Here she go, bruh. I mean, is that where all these hand and feet fetishes is coming from? Because y'all not seeing any faces. Like, it's wild, bruh. So I'm not happy that it's headed this way, but
That's where we headed, bro.
just gotta adapt, I guess. Right?
Or filtered out. You know what I'm saying? Filtered out.
The filters, bruh. I'm so sick of the filters, bro.
You don't even know who you're looking at, bro. To be honest with you, because you catch them without that filter, it's a whole different ball game.
It's so disrespectful to the point where if you say, "Look, baby, you are extremely sexy. You are so alluring. You are the most ravishing woman I ever seen in my entire life. I love your natural beauty. Do you mind if you take those filters off? Could you take them off for just like a week?" And then you go to their page. They done blocked you. All I did was ask for you to stop. I just told you to lay off the filters.
Shit, bro. What
I told you to lay off the filters for a week. I was about to get on bended knee. You wouldn't have had to do this. You wouldn't have had to do this with me. I was ready to get on bended knee. All you had to do was cut them filters out. They was like blocked. I was like, baby, me or the filters? Blocked. Blocked. I'm like, sayonara, what? Is it that serious? So
look, you go to look them up and they can't even be found and shit. You like, what the fuck, bro?
User not found. It was like, hold on. Just 5 seconds ago, she had the page. So that's what I'm saying, bro. It's so real. Where it's like, and it's not just there. Where it's like, baby, you so sexy. Could you just tone down the makeup? Like, it's starting to look a little bit like cake frosting. And then, blocked. But it's like, I thought you said you was a boss chick and you was a baddie. But you're only a baddie with a filter. So that means if you take the filter off, are you a saddie?
Man,
I'm just saying.
They can't. I ain't trying to bash, but they can't even give a motherfucker a hug, bro, because they leave their whole face on my shirt. I'm like, come on, man.
And shout out to
the first time that happened, bro. I didn't know what that shit was. I was like, oh shit, that's the homegirl's makeup. Cause I was like, what the fuck is this shit on my shirt, bro? I was tripping, nigga. I was like, what the fuck? It was her fucking face, bro.
And shout out to Tuber Chat Connecting Grow, says share it on Reddit. Shout out, man. I need some tips on how to do the Reddit. I want to avoid like the racist, rambunctious crowd, and I want to tap in, with the techie crowd. I need somebody to help me with OBS and a couple other things. So shout out to Tuber Chat Connect and Grow. But yeah, sometimes that's intentional. They want to leave their face on your shirt because they want to see. It's kind of like a hickey, right? It's kind of like marketing.
Intentional.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of want to mark their territory. I know sometimes guys do it too. Like, yeah, she might be going home with her other nigga, but like, he gonna have to. You feel me? You feel me? He gonna be tasting. You feel me? My protein, you feel me? Or you know what I mean?
Man, y'all some childish motherfuckers, man.
I'm just saying, cats be like that, bro. Like, it's one thing, dudes. If dudes can't like do something financially, they take pride in smutting someone else's chick out, right?
That's a fact.
They won't be like, oh man, whatever, Big Rig. Like, he earned this money, man. I out-earned him by 3 times. They won't say that, right? But they'll be like, oh, he can't talk. I smashed his chick.
Right.
Like, people always kind of resort to that as the flex. So the flex is typically, and sometimes these chicks be kind of loose for the streets. So is that really a flex? Man, I smashed this hoe. Like, it's just like a doorknob. You got your turn. You know what I mean? So was it really that much to brag about? But now if I say, hey, Big Rig, man, my stock portfolio is killing yours, bro, and I just bought a new property. Now that's something to brag about. But sometimes people have such a limited mindset that they'll go straight to some sort of sexual fantasy that, like, yeah, man, I smashed this chick. Like, bro, that's not even my chick. Like, we broke up like 5 years ago. You smashed her because she was the thought, and now you're trying to say, like, yeah, that was your chick. Like, no, she wasn't. And if she was one of several. And Tuber Chat Connecting Grow says, Red, it can be brutal. We have a subreddit where anyone can share their videos. So where can we find your subreddit? And Reddit being brutal is modest at best. It's extremely, like I said, hostile, racist in some segments, but then it's super informative, and I think you will meet some great people on there. So it's a balance. Like I always say, it's like nuclear energy. This nuclear energy can be used to completely destroy and decimate a city, or it can be used to power and build that city up to prominence. It's the same energy, but it's about how it's being applied. So Reddit is that same platform. You can find a lot of messy, disgusting stuff on there, but you can find a lot of informative stuff, that you probably can't find anywhere else. So shout out to Tuber Chat and all the people with subreddits. So as long as you don't got one of those kind of racist, alt-right 4chan type subreddits, I'll definitely be there supporting. Shout out to Tuber Chat. But you got anything else, Big Rig? So otherwise we'll wrap it up within like the next 10 minutes or so.
No, man, I think we done kind of covered it, bro.
Got you. So yeah, if there's anybody in the chat that would like to come up for like 5-10 minutes before we head out, just let us know. I'm gonna play one little visual and see, and if no one wants to come up,
then
we're gonna get up out of here. This has been Easily Rigged, and we're not shutting it down just yet, but I am gonna hit y'all with a visual.
Yeah.
You are now tuned into another installment of Easily Rigged. B-Eazy Dat Dude, Big Rig slaps two of the dopest to ever do it, you feel me? Put some respect on their name.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in to the dopest, the realest, the rawest show on YouTube and just on social media, period. Now, a lot of people will say that, and it may be hyperbole, but what we saying is, regardless whether we got hundreds in the chat, we're gonna be engaging with people, regardless of if it's early, if it's late. We gonna give y'all a good show, and even though the game is to be sold, we tell a
Not
lot of the
told.
game, but all we can do is lead y'all to water. We can't make you drink it, and I'm an intellectual sponge, so as much as I teach, I like to be taught too. So if somebody gives me some game, I'm not gonna be super egotistical and say, yeah, whatever, I already knew that. I'm gonna say, didn't know that, but now I do know that. So that's what we're here for, is to bestow knowledge, but also, be more immersed with knowledge. So any type of connections that we can make with people that are like-minded but also want to grow and not grift. Let me say that again. People that want to grow and not grift. There's a lot of people that's grifting on here, doing much topics and content for the views, and I could do that too. I'm a very astute marketing person. I could stir up some drama. I can start some YouTube beefs. I can be denigrating black women, black people, because those will get easily clicks. I can be tap dancing. I can put on my Sambo suit and become,
Be a jigaboo around this moment.
exactly. I can be like Raccoon of the Year, and that will get me extremely popular with certain groups of people, but it's just not legitimate. It's not genuine. So what we really want to do is connect with people that is real, people that want to grow and not grift. If you just want to grift for the likes, the views, and the clicks, it should be a disclaimer. Just like when people have to get on YouTube and they've been sponsored, and they be like, here, go buy this Nike shoe. They have to tell you that, hey, we were sponsored by Nike, but here, go buy the Nike shoe. So if you're over here grifting just for the clicks and views and shit, you should be telling people just a disclaimer like, look, I really don't care about the black community. I really don't care about society. I really don't care about women's rights and suffrages. I really don't care about male rights. I'm just doing this for the grift. You should make that disclaimer somewhere in the introduction, or just say it, and then I would have no issues with the people. But the other people are acting like, no, we're here genuinely trying to help people. It's like, no, the topics that you're doing, the panels, the arguing, the bickering like little whiny schoolgirls, that's not helping anyone except for your views, your clicks, and your clout.
Ain't moving shit forward.
A grift. And it's not illegal to be a grifter, but it's just disingenuous to act like you're not that. So go ahead, give us a closing remarks, Big Rig.
I gotta agree with everything you just said, bro. We out here, man. We just trying to have real conversation, man. We all want to have a good time, have a good laugh, talk a little shit, but at the same time, we really do be trying to, move forward, come with some solutions, and just have real good conversation, man. But the thing is, you got to come in ready to have the conversation, bro. Like, I'll talk with anybody, but once I kind of see that it ain't really genuine and you just kind of on some bullshit, I'm through with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to just be talking to be talking. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like, and if you don't even agree with what I'm talking about, I kind of want to hear from you more, because shit, maybe I might be missing something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I didn't catch something. So that's just kind of where I'm at when it comes to conversations all the time, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't want an echo chamber. I just want to have the conversation, man. And I really appreciate you, B-Eazy, because that's what we be doing, bro. And I'm glad to be teamed up with somebody where, we like-minded when it comes to that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, for sure, man. Easily rigged, man. We the dopest motherfucking show out, bro.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to play a couple visuals for those that like the visual aesthetics, the music, the transitions. You can stick around for about 5 minutes or so. Then we are shutting it down. within those 5 minutes, if anyone has something to say in the chat and you want to come up and give your opening and closing remarks, I'll let you up. Otherwise, enjoy the outro. And this has been another installment of Easily Rigged. We will try to be more consistent with you, and we might even have some impromptu streams on other days that are not just Tuesdays. Also, Big Rick Slaps has his own page, and I have my page. All you got to type in is B-Eazy Dat Dude, D-A-T, not T-H-A-T. I'll be happy to collab with people, to have discussions, and if you are intellectually worthy, I might even debate you, but it got to be worth my time.
Yeah.
It's been yet another installment.
私も地元なんといっても久しぶりです。もう友達できたの？うん。
This promethazine got me leaning like a chongo in the club. I'm truly deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad. They vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks is showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting modo. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no. This name ain't D-Lo, but these bitches stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy Dat Dude. In the trap making packs move. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my some Fiji and tandoori and chicken curry, that ism is really indie. My game international, I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, though. I got bigger than a whole lot. Easily rigged. Knowledge and relationships.